Four, three, two, one. But yeah, we used to put the dancing routines were a big part of all of the shows we did. So even if one person was rhyming, everybody else would be dancing or doing something on stage. So it was always something to focus on. We put a lot into the whole stage performance, but we also went to a huge amount of shows to find that out. So it's like one of the things we used to always tell people is there's no such thing as a bad show. Like they could be a bad show, but even if it's bad, you learn what not to do, you know what I'm saying, when you go to it.
Big
So it's like,
facts.
oh, I'm never gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't work out. But you every time you go to a show, you can pick up on something to use as well as something not to do. So it always was good.
More
Yeah.
knowledge nuggets from Nunzio, everyone. Big
Yep.
facts right there.
Yo, and at this time is where I had like the most freedom, right? So Nun and I, for example, we would get on the train from New Brunswick and we would go to NY and we would go to shows like all the time. And this is even in high school, but in college we started going even more. We went to a spot called Quando's where we saw early Lord Finesse, Brand Nubian, Leaders of the New School, Poor Righteous Teachers. We saw Tretch, the rapper from Naughty by Nature, when he actually called himself Trench and wore a real trench coat, right? And walked around, had the machete with him too. And we
What?
saw
He had a
all of those
machete
things.
with him?
That's a fact. That was one of his trademarks too, is he would keep it in the trench coat. Um, Son, so many of those shows. You know what None was talking about, things you learn at shows. So one of those shows we went to see, we saw Poor Righteous Teachers. Poor Righteous Teachers got a lot of love for us. They were five percenters. They had this song called Rock This Funky Joint, right? They had a bunch of songs. But they were five percenters. They were from Trenton, New Jersey. So we were showing them mad love. And I remember one night, the rapper, his name is Wise Intelligent. He's the lead rapper. And he was known for rapping fast. Like he would be, oh, check it down, this with it, right? He would hit this super fast, like almost chatting flow. And I remember one time we went to see them and his DJ was spinning, and then his DJ was like, "Oh shit! Like I'm having problems. Like something's wrong with the turntables." And Wise Intelligent was like, "Word, something's wrong. What's going on? What's happening with the turntables?" He's like, "You know what? If the turntable's broken, then I just got to spit it a cappella." And he was like, and started bodying shit. Now because we thought the turntables was broken, the crowd was like, "Oh shit! Like he's still bodying shit. He's killing it a cappella." And then they would be like, "Oh, the turntables was back," and they do a record, right? Yo, went to see them like 3 months later, and the DJ was like, "Oh shit, wait, my turntable's not working. My turntable's dumb. Something happened." And Wise Intelligent, "Oh my God, your turntable's not working. I have to spit it a cappella." Yo, and we learned that that was a straight routine that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? We thought it was some, oh shit, like he saved the day because the turntables broke. It's like, no, that's a fucking skit they would have. And yo, we learned shit like that. Like if you do that in Virginia, you could do that the next night in Seattle. Like, go ahead, because it hypes the crowd up. You know what I mean? So that's where we started learning some of them early antics and how to really rock a show. You know what I'm saying? Which I still say to this day is an element that a lot of these rappers don't have, yo. The ability to rock a show. It used to really be something that's a calling card. And even some of my favorite rappers, yo, like I don't want to tarnish them, but even like Nas, like a Nas show is not like dynamic. You know what I'm saying? It's like him saying his records, but when we do shows, we try to be a dynamic force that impacts the audience, engages the audience, and makes it like an experience more than just some guy saying his words on stage.
Yo,
Nah,
agree with you with the Nas thing, but where did we see him and we were totally shocked? Like, yo, this is absolutely amazing. Do you
I don't
remember
know this one now.
Rock the Bells? And who was he with? Damian Marley. And we went
Oh yes, and
totally
they did
straight
that
on
set.
them. Yeah, with
That's
the
a
live
fact.
band.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I still think you're making an excellent point. I mean, just as a person who's gone to a lot of local shows in my life, there is a difference between, and I found this out even just doing this locally with my people in my city. There are artists that rent out rooms and practice their shit, and they're ready to go, and they can pick each other up if somebody fumbles, and their shit is tight, and they know how to rock the crowd, and they practice all the things that they need to do. And then there are people who show up and have flat out told me beforehand, yo, I haven't even practiced. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
good luck, my friend. And I don't mean it like disrespectfully. I'm just the kind of person that's going to practice, right? I mean, I felt like the other day I fumbled that verse and I was like, oh, fuck, I didn't practice enough. That was on me. You know, like in the back of my mind, it was a big lesson. And then, you know, you move on. Like Lenzio said, you got to sometimes take a couple of lessons and stuff. But I think what you're saying is huge. Being able to interact with a crowd, being able to work with people is a huge part of what makes it's what makes a community. One thing I can tell you about End of the Week is everybody that talks about End of the Week speaks of it very highly. Everybody that hears the name has positive feelings of, you know, community attached to it. And I think a huge part of that is what you're describing with this element of the showmanship, making an environment where people feel welcome, where they feel like they're part of something.
That's for real. And you know, for years, frankly, that's been our claim to fame. You know, people leave our event and say that, you know, but even beyond that, like DMC or J. Rue or Talib, they leave saying the same thing. KRS leaves saying the same thing. There is something about the environment and the community that we've cultivated that lends itself to that. It makes people come back to the virtual space. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We met a girl from Montreal like the last couple Sundays ago. She came in, spit a couple bars, whatever. She came back Thursday night. She's gang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's in with us now.
Yeah,
And
she's
she says
totally
she'll,
watching this right now.
well, bless her, yo. That's Sammy C, right? Because Sammy
Yeah, that's who
C
it
will,
is.
that's it. Because and I it's that thing. It's not, it wasn't any one of us. It wasn't any one bar or any one rhyme. It was that feeling that we give. Is like, you're welcome here. This is an ill space. I mean, throughout my tenure as a host of EO Dub, we would have a dude come on and say scientific rhymes about molecules, and then somebody get on and talk about stabbing you in the throat, and then somebody get on and talk about bagging your chick and boning your chick. Like, we had every layer of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And it was all welcome. It was a unique space like that because in New York, you know, I'm going off on a tangent here, but so many different places were cultivated. Like New Eurekan Poets Cafe was almost so like woke and peace that the hard body rappers would not want to go there. You don't want to get on the New Eurekan stage and be like, nigga, fuck your bitch. And then, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll be like, hey, guy, peace culture vibes here, right? But then another time there was a guy who had a show on a different night than ours. I think his name was Mental Supreme. And Mental Supreme really curated this hard body shit. So you don't want to go to the Mental Supreme stage with like, yo, peace, knowledge, justice, equality. They be like, fuck that. This is like stab you rap. You know what I'm saying? But somehow at EO Dub, we managed to create a space where it was all welcome. It was all encompassing.